same time to build you a great brand that stands out. Because if you don't do it, you stay in the land of average and you will never have a really breakthrough success. My name is Rob Plickert. Over the last 13 years, I built a lot of personal brands in the German-speaking market. Just two of them to more than 200 million euros in combined revenue. And I didn't do this only for others. I did this also for my own companies. I built a bunch of software companies. One of the most famous one is called Copecard. I bootstrapped it to more than $1 billion in GMV. And also recently I built my own AI startup, Pressmaster AI, from zero to over 1 million ARR in just 7 months with the same principles that I am talking today in this video. The solution is called KFC. Key first click, not Kentucky Fried Chicken, but key first click. The very first interaction, the very first impression someone has with your brand. And the goal for this video is actually for you to understand what you've been actually missing all along and how you can solve it for yourself. That's why I'm now explaining what this concept is, how I came up with it, and at the end of the video, I will show you also how it works. Additionally, I will show you how you can stack multiple KFC videos together and what enormous impact that will have for your brand. Because the stronger your brand becomes, the stronger is the pull effect that people create a desire. And this is especially important for high-ticket leads, which you will win then at cheaper prices. But a warning, and this is really important, if you do everything as before and treat a KFC campaign like all your other campaigns, you will stay at your plateau. A KFC campaign needs a little bit more attention to be engineered correctly. Let's dive right into the Miro board. I came up with the KFC campaign basically because I used first principle thinking. I wanted to know how can I repeatedly create campaigns that dominate the market. So basically, how can I architect market realities for the target group where category domination becomes inevitable. So for that, I used first principle thinking because I asked myself, in a perfect world, I would like to have one single ad that drives all the sales. I know this is not possible, but I was like, okay, thinking, what if it's possible? What does it need to do? And for that, like I said before, I looked at a lot of viral YouTube videos, a lot of viral Instagram, TikToks. I consumed a lot to figure out the patterns, what makes them special, what makes them go viral, what makes people resonate with this video, that they're talking, sharing, clicking on it, and follow people, basically. So this is what went into that. So in a perfect world, we would like to have a single ad that drives all the sales. However, that is not possible. But we can redesign everything and focus on one ad, our key campaign. At that point, we want to remain as efficient as possible. And as advertisers, we want to minimize complexity. So we want to look at an ad that we design. We want to understand the purpose and we want to understand the failing points. So that means proper planning because we want maximum control over the influence from the first click on, because if we have maximum control, there is clarity basically about all possible failure points and we can improve it. So if we don't have it, then we have a problem. Our goal is with this ad is to capture and maximize the attention span of potential customers. Because we know the more time a potential customer spends with your brand, and as long as they are in the right target group, the greater the likelihood that they will become a customer if they see the right angle and the right offer. So that's very important to know. That's why we want from the first moment on that people consume that they're stuck in. In order to do this, they must feel understood, which is a great principle of great copywriting. Good copywriting tells you about the sale and it sells you something. Great copywriting makes people feel understood and makes them come up with their own belief, I need this product in my life. Our goal is that a KFC video is an ad that dominates and stands out in the Facebook newsfeed. Think of it. If you scroll through your newsfeed or like through Instagram and you see a reel, for example, that Instagram shows you and it has like 5 likes, most probably you don't show a lot of attention for it automatically. You just scroll past it. To the next reel, you see like the first screen, you see the first 3 seconds, then you see it has like 15,000 likes, 5,000 comments, 3,000 shares. You look at it and it has social proof and you stay because there is something that other people liked. And we intuitively see this and we stay because we want to know why people like that. We don't think it, but we feel it. So we stay because there must be something like it shows basically that there is a potential payoff that was validated by thousands of people. So that's what we want to do. And that's what we want to recreate, re-engineer, reverse engineer basically for an ad. We want to create an ad that gets basically a lot of likes, a lot of interaction, a lot of comments, a lot of shares, because it's like a car accident. You cannot look away basically when you see this in your newsfeed. You scroll, there's an ad with 5 likes and there's an ad with 500 likes or 1,500 or 5,000. And all of a sudden it doesn't feel anymore actually like an ad. It feels like something with a certain kind of payoff, with some value. So I automatically maximize the watch time by engineering a reel that gets a lot of engagement. Okay, so that's what we want to do, and we do it with social proof, with value, promise, pain avoidance, entertainment, and drama. And that is basically the KFC method. It's a video ad that receives disproportionately more attention compared to re-engineer, reverse engineer basically for an ad. We want to create an ad that gets basically a lot of likes, a lot of interaction, a lot of comments, a lot of shares, because it's like a car accident. You cannot look away basically when you see this in your newsfeed. You scroll, there's an ad with 5 likes and there's an ad with 500 likes or 1,500 or 5,000. And all of a sudden it doesn't feel anymore actually like an ad. It feels like something with a certain kind of payoff, with some value. So I automatically maximize the watch time by engineering a reel that gets a lot of engagement. Okay, so that's what we want to do, and we do it with social proof, with value, promise, pain avoidance, entertainment, and drama. And that is basically the KFC method. It's a video ad that receives disproportionately more attention compared to other ads. Because why? In order to achieve that, we must spend more time with it. We must work more with it. It's not just like on Instagram or on Facebook, you select broad targeting, upload your creative, and then let Facebook decide whatever creative wins. No, that's not how we do it. That's not how it works. That's actually great for Facebook. Facebook wants you to do that because Facebook is earning a lot of money by people not understanding how to play the rules of the platform, because people accept this also as the new norm. Yeah, okay, broad targeting is the best, just upload your creative, but it's basically coming from most people who never ever understood how the platform really works, how to play the rules of the platform. So what we're doing is we're using the key first click, the brand oscillator that defines.
Yeah, and also, why would I ever trust what Zuckerberg says or wants? Because this guy's just a crazy mofo, and all he wants is to rule the world, and get more richer.
All following interaction. Because if you think of it, like we all saw somewhere a KFC campaign. Now, maybe it wasn't intentional created, but it was basically an ad that resonated very well with the target audience because somebody spent time with the research and understanding the target group. So let me explain how I came up with it. I've wondered what really makes a difference. Coming from first principle thinking, I asked myself, what if there is an ad that brings all the sales? And as a side note, a single ad is not enough, but one ad is enough to push you miles ahead in the market and simultaneously become significantly more profitable. The thing is here, like if I look back, every time like I scaled a brand, and obviously some of you know this as well, is that if you upload 100 ads, let's say 95 of them will fail. There will be like 5 ads maybe that will drive or have the potential like to scale really, really hard because of the message, the creative, like the angle, the copywriting, the creative creation. They are like 5% of all creatives that really have the potential to scale. The thing is with the KFC, we want to really start from the planning phase to engineer a really, really good creative and then map it out and push it basically with predictability. You don't need a lot of ads to create performance. You need the right ads. Yeah, like I said before, like 5% of the ads usually only bring performance. You don't need a lot of ads, you need the right ads. And if you can cut out the waste, like I see many marketers nowadays, they open Claude or ChatGPT, say like, here's a script, build me a hook, blah, 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 and build me 5 or 20 scripts for UGC. And then the UGC creators record these 20 scripts and all these 20 scripts are almost garbage. Better like to think properly Do proper research, I come to this in a second, and create as few ads as possible.
This is exactly what I keep saying all the time with this whole AI thing. Like, oh, it's now so easy, and just join this platform and register here and pay for my reoccurring fee. You just need to speak now. You don't need even to type anymore. It doesn't matter if you actually know how to read or write. It's just speaking is enough. You basically can skip the grammar school, and it just talk with AI, and it will create the perfect ad for you. And I keep saying this all the way long. It's like if things become so easy that everybody can do it in presumably such easy ways, then it loses its value intrinsically. I mean, by the law of nature by the law of economics. So what he's describing, and I agree with this, it's like the harder you need to work and the more expertise you actually need to do a proper ad yourself before even having it touched the algorithms, by understanding the audience and by understanding your client and whatever he's trying to offer to the audience, to have this product market fit, deep understanding of a certain niche industry, combining it with marketing and psychology and human psychology, you know, before the ad even touches the algorithm of any type of platform, Meta. So Facebook is the worst of all. Um, and second, YouTube. Uh, that's a real skill. Only very, very, very few people are even capable of doing it really well. So when you then find somebody like, us, for example, the scaling experts, who does it very well, then it's worth paying this person or this agency, you know, for this specific skill set that he offers. You know, it's the same as like I don't know if like carpenting, like if like building houses becomes so easy that like a 10-year-old kid can do, you know, then a house, you in this case you would probably be able to buy a house for 5 grand, because it just depreciates in value because it's so easy. It's the same thing. It's basically becomes worthless. It would be no point anymore in for any type of real estate investor to do this kind of thing, to invest in real estate or whatever. So if for whatever reason this would be such an easy thing now because of AI and everything, of course you can do it, but the quality and the effect and the results will be equally horrific, the equally as it is easy to do. Why? Because by definition, everybody can do it then. And so there's not even the slightest competitive advantage anymore in the first place. So everything is equalized. That's so simple to understand, but so few people understand it. And in fact, I don't have a single call with any type of, I'm specialized in the IT industry, so with any type of like IT startup company, whatever, that is not telling me, okay, I've tried already like 2 or 3 agencies at cold calling, cold emailing, Facebook ads, you Google it, the whole thing, and it didn't work. Yeah. Of course it didn't work because it was 99.9999%. It was some random agency, some random marketing guy who was just like talking to ChatGPT and joining some mastermind in the USA about like where there's like a school group of 15,000 people, like in one coach, and you're like one coachee in a coaching call of like 50 other guys, and and everybody is downloading data from Apollo.io. You know, it's like, okay, there's tens of thousands of people doing the same thing. What's the value in it? No, there is no value in it. Yeah, very easy. Yeah, it's the same shit.
The mindset basically is that you don't want to create all the possible ads. You want to create as few ads as possible. but that are right. Use your brain. And here's also like the difference to e-com brand. If we are on high ticket, basically, the product is very intangible. That means an e-com product is tangible. I can see it, and by seeing it, I know how to use it. And usually it has a way lower price. But with high ticket, with services, with coaching, with consultings, or generally with higher ticket services, or also like real estate, first of all, you have a time delay. You almost never have a sale on the same day. There's a time delay between 7, 14, 13, 60, 90, 120 days, depending also on the price and the product and how well the market is knowing you. How known is your brand? Because your brand brings trust. And when somebody sees you for the first time, you have to make really sure that you mirror their inner state, basically the thoughts which they have inside.
But this is a video I've just done like a couple of days ago and uploaded on this very channel. He says like your brand is trust or generates trust. That is what you said, like, right? Okay, quote him, your brand generates trust. I would give him further and I would say like trust, your brand is the trust. If you have no brand, there is no trust at all. So very often like you need to prove yourself by doing things for free or whatever, just to get the first couple of testimonials done. Because you have no clients, you have no testimonials, therefore you have no brand because nobody is um knows you for the things that you are capable of doing. Therefore your brand is like close to zero. Yeah. And therefore there is no trust. The trust is close to zero, and therefore you need to keep the ball rolling out somehow. So it's even worse than that. It's not like your brand is generating trust. Brand is trust. Yeah.
themselves, which your target group can't articulate, basically, of what they need, what they desire, like that somebody offers them together with a solution for their problem. And that's the main difference between ecom and why almost all the strategies that are working well for ecom don't work that well for high-ticket lead gen. Yes, not all of them are garbage for high-ticket lead generation, but most of them are just not the right tool, like to dominate continuously the market and build bigger market share. The other analogy is with the stock market. If you want to be very well diversified, you want to own a lot of stocks, because if there's something going down, the loss is not that big. If you have just a few stocks, the loss is bigger. On the other hand, the payoff is way bigger if one stock goes up. If you have just a few stocks, then the payoff is way bigger. And the same is with ads. Like if you have a lot of stocks and you need to manage them manually, like it's a pain in the ass. That's why you usually buy an ETF. With ads, it's kind of like the same thing. You want to have as few great ads as possible, and you want to engineer them properly. So what we want is basically one ad that brings all the sales, or basically is the oscillator, because we will not have one ad, but we want to have one oscillator at the beginning. Later we stack this, like we repeat the same thing, and I will show in a few minutes how it looks like when we stack them. And we want to do the opposite.
And there's also some truth in that. Is like very often, like when I'm initially like really in getting interested in some kind of like YouTuber who talks about his portfolio, like stocks, share trading, or whatever, investment, general, whatever, business. And I keep watching him, and then after some time I realize, okay, this guy's got like, I don't know, 50, 100 different stocks in his portfolio, different portfolios, long term, mid term, short term, and he needs to kind of like keep like managing all of that. Like it's totally nuts. And in the end of the day, it's like each time I come to the conclusion that this guy actually doesn't know fuck all about investing, because the reason why I come to this conclusion is because he has so many different investments. So if you don't know fuck all, if you don't know anything about uh, basically the lower quality your investment decisions are, the more investments you need to do just to diversify your risk, purely based on the number of investments you do. If you really know what you're doing, you don't need to have like any big number of investment. Even one single investment would be enough if you really know what you're doing. If the probability based on your background, based on your expertise, based on your niche expertise, whatever, if your investment So 99% is a good investment. All you need to do is to do one single investment. And this is what I've been doing. Like most recently, it's like I had very, very few investments, very, very few horses I was betting on, and that was running well, much, 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 much better than having this sheer number of diversifications. And there's so many farm managers and everybody is saying like, diversify, have this five things and that and this and this and this. A little bit of diversification, yes, that's fine. Yeah. But not 50. Don't split your money into 50 different buckets unless you are a multi-billionaire or something. And this is the same thing. This is the same thing. It's just like, okay, I don't know really which ad is going to be working. So I'm just now pushing like 100 different ads, just to win based on the sheer number uh, of things that I'm pushing out, that I'm doing. And it's usually in 99% of the cases, it's a proof that the person who's doing that actually doesn't know what he's doing. You know, be it like an investor or whatever, trader, whatever, or like a marketing agency. So this is a really good point, and I really like this.
Basically, as Charlie Munger said, you have as few eggs in one basket. KFC describes the very first micro interaction with your brand and offer. So before I go into that, I just go quickly up to the definition so you know about what I'm talking here. When I say first click, what I mean is the first interaction with your new offer or your brand. When I say, for example, first opt-in, that's basically in the buyer journey, the process when somebody or someone has shown interest in your offer, your service, your product, but did not make a purchase. And then we have the re-engagement, an additional problem-solving angle for visitors, for leads and existing customers to increase mental availability and ultimately lead to conversion. So basically, first click, first opt-in, somebody opt-ins on your page, but he didn't buy. Yeah, he didn't buy. He's in your follow-up funnel.
Okay, guys, I need to run, but this is gonna be to be continued. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna pull out like the second half of this and also like others in the future that I will comment on, and I'll also give you like my perspective and my expertise based on many, many centuries, many decades of of experience. Okay, see you later, guys. I need to go. Bye bye.